This is the real story behind Diddy and Justin Bieber, and I promise you, the truth is way more disturbing than the clickbait flooding your feed. If you've been anywhere on the internet lately, you've probably seen headlines screaming that Diddy threatened Justin Bieber from prison. You've probably seen an AI-generated song called "I Lost Myself" at a Diddy party, supposedly recorded by Bieber.
I lost myself that night, I threw it.
You might have even seen a viral quote where Bieber allegedly says, "Don't ask me about that man, ever." Here's the thing though, none of that is real, not a single word of it. What is real is somehow even more unsettling, and it's a story that stretches back over 15 years to when Justin Bieber was just a 15-year-old kid. Let's rewind to November 2009. A video gets posted to Justin Bieber's own YouTube channel titled 48 Hours with Diddy. In it, you see a teenage Bieber, barely old enough to drive, spending 2 full days with one of the most powerful men in the music industry, seemingly unsupervised. And in that video, Diddy says something that hits very differently today. He says, "Where we're hanging out and what we're doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him." Custody of a 15-year-old boy. Then he adds this little detail that connects a much bigger picture. He says, "He's signed to Usher, and I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album." Now, why does that matter? Because Usher moved in with Diddy when Usher was just 13 years old back in the early 90s. Years later, Usher went on Howard Stern's show and admitted he witnessed very curious things taking place during Diddy's so-called Puffy Flavor Camp parties. When Stern asked Usher if he'd ever let his own children attend Puffy Camp, Usher's answer was immediate: hell no. So you've got this pattern: Diddy taking guardianship of young artists, Usher at 13, now Bieber at 15. And here's what makes the Bieber situation interesting. There's another Resurfaced video from 2010 where Diddy actually confronts Bieber for not spending as much time with him anymore. He teases the kid, saying it's because Bieber's been too busy selling out arenas. After that conversation, outside of one sighting at a Diddy-associated party in 2014, their relationship basically evaporated. According to TMZ sources, people right at the center of Justin's life, Bieber's longtime security chief, Kenny Hamilton, reportedly shielded the young singer from music industry vultures, bad actors, and others, including Combs. Those same sources say the public appearances between Diddy and Bieber were all performative, that Justin was never actually close with Diddy. He was friends with Diddy's sons Quincy and Justin Combs, not with Diddy himself. Fast forward to 2024, and the world Diddy built comes crashing down. On September 16th, 2024, Sean Combs gets arrested in New York on charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and violations of the Mann Act. During raids on his Los Angeles and Miami mansions, federal agents seized over 1,000 bottles of lubricant, firearms, and electronic equipment. 1,000 bottles. Let that sink in. The floodgates opened. Over 120 alleged victims announced lawsuits. Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend, had already filed her civil lawsuit back in November 2023, which got settled within 24 hours for a reported $20 to $30 million. She also revealed a separate $10 million settlement from the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City, whose security cameras captured footage of Diddy physically assaulting her. During the trial, Cassie testified for 4 straight days. She told the court, "Make the wrong face," and the next thing I knew, I was getting hit in the face. Her testimony was harrowing. After sentencing, she expressed her ongoing fear, saying she had moved her family out of the New York area because she was terrified that if Combs walked free, his first actions would be swift retribution against her and everyone who spoke up. On July 2nd, 2025, the jury delivered a split verdict: not guilty on racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, but guilty on 2 counts of transportation for the purposes of prostitution. One juror later said publicly that Combs got off easy. Prosecutors had pushed for over 11 years. The defense wanted 14 months, essentially time served. Judge Arun Subramanian landed somewhere in between, sentencing Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison, a $500,000 fine, and 5 years of supervised release. With credit for time already served since his September 2024 arrest, Combs is set for release on April 15, 2028. His defense attorney Brian Steele called the sentence un-American. Throughout all of this, the internet did what the internet does. Speculation about Justin Bieber exploded. AI-generated videos flooded YouTube. Researchers found that around 24 channels were pumping out fabricated content about the trial, racking up nearly 70 million views from roughly 900 videos. Fake quotes, fake songs. Fake threats, all of it designed to get clicks, and all of it pulling attention away from the actual victims. Which is exactly what Bieber himself finally addressed. In May 2025, as the trial was getting underway, Bieber's spokesperson told TMZ, although Justin is not among Sean Combs' victims, there are individuals who were genuinely harmed by him. Shifting focus away from this reality detracts from the justice these victims rightfully deserve. That's a carefully worded statement. Bieber isn't a victim of the specific crimes alleged in this trial, but that doesn't mean the experience left no marks. Because on Christmas Day 2025, Bieber posted something deeply personal on Instagram. He wrote, "What happened to me was real, but it doesn't get the final word. Jesus didn't just help me cope, he restored my identity." Then he added something that I think is the most revealing line of all. He said, "I want redemption. I don't want to destroy the industry. I want it transformed." He didn't name Diddy. He didn't name anyone. But those words carry weight when you remember this is a guy who was thrust into the music industry as a child, who was paraded around by powerful men on camera, whose own security team had to actively protect him from predators. Meanwhile, Diddy himself stood before the court at his sentencing and said, "My actions were disgusting, shameful, and sick. I was sick from the drugs. I was out of control. I needed help, and I didn't get the help, and I cannot make no excuse." By December 2025, his legal team had filed an appeal requesting immediate release or resentencing, arguing the judge acted as a 13th juror by sentencing Combs based on conduct the jury had actually acquitted him of. And here's where we are now. Diddy is serving his sentence at Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institution in New Jersey. He reportedly got caught making homemade alcohol behind bars, though his team called that allegation false and reckless. Oh, and former President Trump confirmed that Combs asked to be pardoned. So no, Diddy did not threaten Justin Bieber from prison. That's fiction. But the real story, a teenager being handed over to one of the most powerful and now convicted men in music, that story is documented on video in Bieber's own words and in the testimony of over 100 people who weren't as lucky as Bieber seems to have been. The misinformation machine wants you chasing fake quotes and AI songs, but the truth doesn't need fabrication. It's disturbing enough on its own.